Okay, now I know this video might be getting out a little bit later. Like I said, I had a long weekend, man. Some crazy shit happened that I'm not going to get into, but it's nobody's business. But I have a long week coming up this week. I'm not going to get into why. I have a very, very, very busy week this week. So that's why I haven't been streaming. I will be doing commentary for UFC 267 this weekend, and I'm probably going to be doing commentary on the Colby Covington Usman 2 card with Thug Rose and all that. So you're going to see Johnny Boy, a very vulnerable Johnny Boy when Thug Rose is fighting. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. But anyways, I wanted to give my thoughts on Shakur Stevenson's performance against Jamel Herring the other night, what I think might be up next for him, and I think there's a looming super fight that I wanted to touch on a little bit here, as you can see by the thumbnail. So Shakur looked good, man. I said Shakur was going to win by UD. I thought they should have let Herring go out on his shield. He didn't really need to take the punishment, so I understand why they stopped it, but he didn't get dry, He was still standing up. But Shakur won regardless. Like I said, he was gonna. And the kid looked good, man. He looked good. I'm not going to come out here and discredit Shakur Stevenson's performance at all. Herring's a tough kid, Marine, good fighter. Just come off a good win against an older Carl Frampton. Step in the right direction for Shakur Stevenson. Now, do I think that Shakur is this fucking phenomenal phenom, top 5 pound? No. Pound for pound? No. He's got a lot more to prove before we can get into that conversation. He beat one good guy, okay? So let's, just like Ryan Garcia and Haney and Tank and the rest of these young bucks, they got one good win. Let's not blow it out of proportion. Nothing against Shakur. Not taking anything away from the kid's performance the other night. He looked sharp, man, and he gave Herring a boxing lesson. But let's just not go overboard. We'll start throwing pound-for-pound credentials and that kind of shit out there, all right? There's many more multi-weight fighters that warrant a pound-for-pound slot before Shakur Stevenson does. So let's pump the brakes a little bit on that. Good performance, though. The kid looked good. No questions about it. I did like the little setup. Jamel Herring come out with Jada Kiss, one of my favorites of all time. Shout out to New York, even though I give you guys some shit about New York and Jersey, even though I give you guys some shit a little bit. One of my all-time favorites. And then the Shakur come out with the Migos. I thought it was kind of cool, just kind of the old school versus the new school kind of thing, But, anyways, Herring wins, looks good, looks impressive. Now, he said he wants Valdez next. And I'm all for that. And I'm going to tell you this right now, I hope Shakur Stevenson beats the fucking brakes off of Valdez. I used to be a big fan of Oscar Valdez, pisses dirty with them scumbags in the Reynoso camp. No. I'm rooting for Shakur all day long on that one. So I hope that is the next fight. Yeah, it should be. They're both title holders in the same division on the same network. Now, the other thing that Shakur Stevenson said was Vasily Lomachenko. Here's what I'm going to say to that, okay? You're not ready, son. You're not ready. You're not ready. Lomachenko, you're a good up-and-coming young fighter, but boy, you don't want none of that. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're a good up-and-coming fighter. No disrespect to what you did the other night. You put on a hell of a performance. But as far as Lomachenko goes, let's see what you do with Valdez. Then we can talk Lomachenko, okay? And on top of that, the reason I'm bringing this up, because if you guys remember on my old channel, I spoke about how, and this was 2 years before the fight even happened, I said Lomachenko-Teofimo is going to be a super fight somewhere down the line. What happened? So, here's my thinking, Now, just hear me out here, people. Hear me out. Listen to what Uncle Chael Sonnen's got, the Chael Sonnen of Wisconsin has to say. So this is what I say for the Uncle Bobby, Grandpa Bobby over there at Top Rank. I say, make Shakur Valdez unify, right? Maybe put it on like, March next year, so February, something like that, right? February, March, somewhere in there next year. Have those two guys unify. Lomachenko fight Richard Comey. Now, I'm expecting Loma to win that fight, but it's not going to be easy, like I keep telling you guys. Now, if Lomachenko can't get the Teofimo doesn't want the rematch with Lomachenko if he defeats Richard Comey. If he can't get a Teofimo rematch, hear me out. If he can't get a Teofimo rematch, I think what they need to do is make Shakur versus Lomachenko. Let Shakur go unify with Valdez, right? Let Lomachenko go beat Richard Comey. If you can't get the Teofimo rematch, go fight Shakur at 130 for 2 titles. Okay? That's easy work for Lomachenko. And the other thing is this, and I'm not saying Shakur is trying to age him out because he hasn't even gotten up to the point where the Lomachenko's fight's being discussed much. Now it is a little bit that he beat Herring and got a title, but I'm going to call this right now. I'm going to say it right now. In a year or so, that's going to be the fight. Lomachenko versus Shakur Stevenson. I think that Lomachenko would shred Shakur. Personally, this is just my opinion, but I think because I do think that's what their long-term end game here is. If he can't get a rematch with Teofimo, right? Okay, so let's make Shakur and Lomachenko the 2 Olympians, blah, 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 blah. And that'll be a super fight, okay? But my thing is this. So let Shakur go fight Valdez, unify with that, and then let the winner of that fight Lomachenko, okay? I think that if you're going to do something like that, it needs to be done within the next year to 18 months type of time frame. Because Lomachenko's going to be turning 34 in February. The reason I know this is because his birthday is a couple days before my dad's. So he's going to be 34 in February. I'm not saying Shakur's aging him out or nothing, because this conversation just opened up as of the results of Saturday night. But if you're going to do it, if you're going to make Shakur versus Lomachenko, which I think they're eventually going to do it within the relatively near future, so he's not 36 or 37. Like I say, he's going to be 34 in February. So do it, and then if you're going to do that, do it in the next year and a half while Lomachenko's still got some prime left in him, if you catch my drift, okay? But I do think, because I really don't think at this point we're going to get a Teofimo rematch. I think he's going to end up moving up after this Kambosos fight. So I think in that, with the fighters that Bob's got, his stable, he can make Loma Shakur. It's a super fight in its own self, right? For the way they've built up Lomachenko and the way they're currently building up Shakur, another young buck versus the old man. 2 very, very talented guys, A, B, C, and D. That's the fight I want to see. I say, this is what I say. Like I say, let Shakur and Valdez unify. And the winner of that gets the shot at Loma if he doesn't get the crack at Teofimo, the second crack at Teofimo. So I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from, and I'm going to promise you something right now. When this fight gets made, Lomachenko and Shakur, which it will, Lomachenko's going to beat the fucking brakes off of him. Lomachenko is not Jamel Herring, people. That's all I'm going to tell you. All right? So I say let Shakur and Valdez unify. In first couple months of next year, February, March, whatever. Let Loma take care of Richard Comey. After that, if he can't get a Teofimo rematch, is what I'm saying, then make this fight. Shakur Valdez, winner gets the crack at Loma. Boom. You got a super fight right there, people. Now, with that being said, good performance by Shakur Stevenson the other night. I'm pretty sure we're going to start seeing a little build up to a Loma Shakur showdown in the relatively near future here, people. So I'm looking forward to it, to seeing how it all unplays and folds out. Now, with that being said, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. God bless every single one of you. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and I salute. Peace.